Sarah, do you recognize this sound?
Yes, it's air conditioner.
Yes, it is. And guess what? Most Europeans don't know this sound.
Yes, it's true. We are living well, right?
Yes, we are. That's it, Sarah. I have a special video. I only heard these sounds after moving to, guess where, America.
Oh, what are those?
That's a great question. That's why we are going to react to the video. That said, say hello to our friends.
Hi, guys!
My friends, thank you so much for all the support. We really appreciate that. That's it, Sarah. Ask them for the most important thing.
Guys, leave a like, thumbs up.
And if they subscribe,
You make our day.
that's right. Link below. Let's go into this.
Hello. For some reason,
Hey,
I
Lars.
woke up next to a tree this morning, and that reason could be because I couldn't get to sleep in my actual bed because for the first time in as many days, it was autumn.
Okay.
What is that?
No idea.
And that meant that my bedroom was completely silent. And you might be watching this thinking, I'm really confused right now. And if you are, that you could be British. Because in America, for the most part, your bedroom and most of the rooms in the house, especially in the summertime, are not silent. There's this little thing called white noise. And white noise is this thing that seems to permeate American society in general, and something that Americans tell me that they can't do without when they go to bed. And for me, it's the other way
What? Americans use white noise to sleep?
He's talking about air conditioning? No.
Maybe they use the air conditioning to as a white noise. That's a good
Yes.
point, Sarah. That's a really good point. Maybe it's that.
around. You know, in Britain, I grew up.
Actually, we have to go back. The thing about white noising is we actually use
Yes.
white noise for
the baby.
for the baby because people told us that it's better for him at this early age, but we don't use white noise, you know, as adults.
Thing that seems to permeate American society in general, and something that Americans tell me that they can't do without when they go to bed. And for me, it's the other way around. You know, in Britain, I grew up with just really quiet, peaceful bedrooms, with the
Yes.
exception of my dad snoring in the next room.
Right.
I sort of got used
What?
Right, my dad and my mother when
okay.
I was a child.
Okay,
You
okay.
to that for 26 years. I got used to this sort of just, I don't know, this general silent ambience. Is that even a thing? And then when I moved to America, bear in mind this was in the winter, so it hadn't yet happened yet, but by the time the summer started to heat up, we were putting on the air conditioning units, right? And of course, famously, we still haven't come around to that idea in the UK. It just became this thing. It sort of happened to me that
Okay.
as soon as I moved here, without realizing it, was falling asleep to white noise. And I think after about a year of that, it sort of clicked that this isn't how things used to be. So in America,
Well, but so we are kind of right. Basically, the white noise for him was the air
Yes,
conditioner.
But they use all the time.
That's another great question. I don't know.
every autumn, it takes me
Okay, actually, my friends, we have to go back. Anyone watching that needs this white noise thing to sleep?
To sleep, yeah.
If so, leave us a comment.
sort of clicked that this isn't how things used to be. So in America, every autumn, it takes me right back to me childhood.
Oh, you know why he's saying that? Because in autumn, so they use in the winter air condition to make the room a bit,
Yes.
to make hot.
Exactly.
That's not how you say it, but they got the point. And in the winter to cool down the room, but maybe in the autumn they don't need.
Right.
So that's why he's experiencing silence. You know.
Okay.
My friends, are we having a good conclusion here?
So in America, every autumn, it takes me right back to me childhood. Briefly, because then the winter turns up and you have to have a fan on in the bedroom because the heating is too hot. It's like a catch-22.
What?
But while I was laying there awake at night before I fell asleep next to
No, but we are right. It was that. The fan is another thing, but we are right.
Yes.
this tree,
What?
What he's saying? He's saying in the winter they turn on the heating, and because it's too hot, they turn on the fan. Whoa, it's too much.
Wait. They try to balance the weather inside.
Wow.
turns up, and you have to have a fan on in the bedroom because the heating
See?
is too hot. It's like a
Oh my god, they spend so much electricity. Wow.
Yes.
catch-22. But while I was laying there awake at night and before I fell asleep next to this tree, I had some thoughts about some of the other sounds that I
Okay.
commonly hear in the United States that I would never have heard in England. And if you listen carefully, you can probably hear one of those sounds right now.
No. Lawrence, we have
Bird
birds.
sound.
We have birds in Europe.
Everyone.
What are you saying, my friend?
Hear that? That is, well, North American bird species, most likely anyway, because in the UK, the bird that you would hear most commonly is a wood pigeon, because it makes that really distinctive sound all across most of Europe, I think. And it just goes, whoop, 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 whoop. Which I realize
That are annoying.
Yeah, but you know what? We have those actually.
Yes.
My friends, you guys don't recognize that sound, eh?
I'm making bird sounds in public. Here, you don't really hear that sound very often because wood pigeons aren't native to North America. And instead, you'll hear the sounds of many birds. I mean, here in the Midwest, you've got cardinals, you've got the red-winged blackbird, you've got mourning doves, which of course comprise about 33% of my own family. And so the general bird ambience differs greatly between Britain and the United States. And of course, America, being the giant country that it is, boasts a stupid amount of birds and an amount of stupid birds. But that's every country. And, you know, the noise or the sound, the ambience that they produce differs immensely depending on where you are in the country. So I can only speak for here. I've seen a cardinal sitting.
I never saw the cardinal, but Americans told me that this bird is popular there.
Okay.
It's a beautiful one.
Yes.
Outside of my house on a telephone wire dropping a massive but all the time chatting. So if you are the sort of person who's really into birds, which is all English people once they pass the age of 40, then if you move to America, get yourself a bird book. Do those things still, I don't know if they exist, but look it up on the internet, which birds are in your local area. And then what about the sound that you hear at a zebra crossing / crosswalk? Again, those differ all throughout the United States. Where I live, you hear things like, the crosswalk sign is on. The crosswalk sign is on. And we get the
We don't have that.
Ah, America, land of the free and also amazing food and amazing people. My friends, look, real talk, I'm coming to America this year. I cannot wait. This is taking so long, but guess what? You can follow me here. Andrea, why is that important? I may post updates about my trip to the US, and also there is a lot of videos that get blocked on YouTube. They may go here. Twitch, maybe not, okay. But I may stream there one day, who knows. But Facebook, Instagram, X, follow me in all of those. Links below on the description. See you there, my friend. And let's continue with this. No. What? There is a speaker.
Yes. Could help, but I don't know.
I mean,
It's annoying.
okay, well, let's pay attention.
Again, those differ all throughout the United States. Where I live, you hear things like, the crosswalk sign is on. The crosswalk sign is on. And we get the picture, mate. And I've been to places here where it
This way
almost
you go faster.
Yeah, you ran. Oh.
Okay,
sounds like a machine gun, like
Cross the road, right?
right, which really makes you want to run across the road, so at
exactly.
least
Yeah.
it gets its job done efficiently. But it is mildly terrifying. In Britain, I can't really remember how it goes. It's something like beep, 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 beep. Probably making that up.
The ones we have here don't make any sound, right?
Right. It's not common.
It's not
here.
common, at least here in our city. Of course,
Yes.
you know, we are not a big country, but there is other cities that may differ, you know.
Producers, can we look up what it sounds like in Britain?
Okay.
Over the last 2 years, one sound that I've heard commonly here in Chicago is my cat, but also tornado sirens.
Oh, okay. Because he lives in
The Midwest. The Midwest is the home of tornadoes in America. It's the Midwest, Oklahoma, and Texas. Apart from that, all the other states are safe. There is no tornadoes in California, from what I know. My friends, if I'm saying some BS, call me out in the comments. But I honestly believe... I'm joking a bit because Maybe tornadoes can happen everywhere,
Right.
but Oklahoma is every week basically.
Yes,
There
I
is
see
something
that.
flying.
Wow.
Texas gets a bit crazy from time to time.
How he used to that?
You don't get used. I mean, you accept that. It is a bit different.
It's true, yeah.
But this sound, by the way, I'm already aware of this one, is a bit terrifying.
Yes.
Pay attention, Sarah.
What it sounds like in Britain.
Not this one.
Over the last 2 years, one sound that I've heard commonly here in Chicago is my cat, but also tornado sirens. Tornado sirens go off when we're put into a tornado warning, and that's when we have to go down to our basement, get away from all of the windows, and just sort of stay put until the local authorities tell us that we can leave. In fact, my cat is well drilled in this by now. And you might be thinking, ooh, Lawrence, why are you including tornado sirens and not tornadoes themselves? And the reason is simple, because while tornadoes might be devastating when they do in fact strike,
Right.
Americans are likely going to hear more tornado sirens in their life than they are tornadoes.
Oh, okay.
And come to that, Britain isn't its...
Oh, because the sirens go off, I would say maybe often, but sometimes the tornado
Finish.
before hitting their street, maybe.
Okay.
I hope so.
itself without the odd twister, and I'm not just referring to the sweaty board game. As a matter of fact, England experiences more tornadoes per square mile than any other country on Earth. It's just that none of them are strong enough to feature in films with Helen Hunt. So they very rarely cause fatalities. I promise I am happy about that. This is just my default face. But the tornado siren is most certainly something I'd never heard until I moved to the United States, although that's not entirely true. Because in Britain we do have such sirens, and they were once used for alerting us to air raids, and nowadays to another weather phenomenon, floods. But I can tell you unequivocally that nothing prepared me this year for the moment when I was just standing in a wooded area with my wife, and all of a sudden, that's not a plane in a heavy wind. That is the siren, just my impersonation of it. You know?
I'm going to be honest. If that happens when we are in America, we go back to where we come back.
And it was deafening. It was deafening. I genuinely thought the Germans were coming until I looked at my calendar, realized it was an invisible watch and that it wasn't the 1940s. So perspective is everything. I mean, it's always nice when you can just sit there and say, thank goodness it's just a tornado.
Yes.
Anyway, normally when we're hankering down in that shelter, otherwise known as the basement, you do find yourself morbidly listening out for that whoosh sound, right? Or at least I do. But most of the time, all you're left with is crickets. Not literally, that would be weird. Although it does bring me on to another point.
Sounds of
Crickets. I'm not talking about the...
But you love the sound of cricket.
Yeah, it's real
Very relaxing.
yeah. In the summer.
They have another sound that I think there is a video about this. Is cicadas. It's an insect that makes so noisy. It's kind of crazy.
Okay.
My friends. My friends, leave the number 7 if I should show that sound to Sarah. Sorry.
For that whoosh sound, right? Or at least I do. But most of the time, all you're left with is crickets. Not literally, that would be weird. Although it does bring me on to another point, crickets. I'm not talking about the sport. Of course, we hear that all the time in the English
it's the
summer.
same
Not
word.
so much here. But crickets, the insect.
Oh, you don't like? In the summer.
Okay.
I've talked about these before, of course. The sound that they make is very prominent on this side of the ocean. In Britain, we don't have that ambience, and it's a blooming shame because it's a very relaxing sound.
Yes.
I've never really articulated that before. I've talked
Okay, this sound is super common here, in specific in the summer.
about crickets on this channel in the past, but it's a sound that I can actually sit there in the park listening to crickets, which is weird because this is insects mating, or at least sending out a mating call, and I'm there casually listening in on it. Imagine if it was humans and I was doing that. It seems like we have alternative rules when it comes to other members of the animal kingdom. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong, I don't want to do that to Humans who should keep themselves to themselves. So those are just some of the sounds that I thought of when I woke up next to that tree this morning. And Mum, if you are watching, I didn't really wake up next to a tree. It's just for the narrative of this video.
Yeah.
It's a weird narrative. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below
Thank
some
you,
of the
Loris.
sounds that you hear on a daily basis that you don't think other people will hear in other parts of the world. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at LostInThePondUS, and don't forget to subscribe.
My friends, show him all the support. Sarah,
Yes.
final thoughts on this one. Crazy sounds, right?
Yes, very different than ours.
Which one ended up surprising you the most?
The bird sounds we have, so maybe
White noise?
the alarms.
Oh, the siren.
Sirens alarms, yeah, sure.
For me, it was actually the white noise because, I like silence to sleep.
But I understand why you need the white noise, because the silence maybe is more loud than the white noise.
I
don't know.
understand what you mean. Yeah,
Like,
the silence
explain
can
it.
be a bit too loud. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, Sarah, say goodbye to our friends.
Bye, guys.
Our friends, thank you so much. See you guys in the next one. And yeah, bye.